Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Boyographic, the game series in which I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library. This week we're looking at a bit of a cult classic and a bit of an obscure title. It's Bubble Ghost. Bubble Ghost is the Game Boy equivalent of a steady hand game. You need great dexterity, quick reflexes, and above all else, the patience of a saint. Not only because each stage is timed, but because the only way to manoeuvre your bubble around the course is generally almost perfect timing. Be a second too late and BAM! Your bubble is burst. And man, does that ghost look pissed at you when that happens. I say that ghost because, believe it or not, the game doesn't give the poor bastard a name. The game is literally referring to the fact that yes, there is a ghost and your goal is to blow a bubble around an old castle full of sharp objects such as pins, barbed wire and giant spears. Strangely though, the castle is also inhabited by a large amount of cute animals for reasons unknown. Maybe the game's creators thought the castle setting was a little bit too bleak. After all, the original game created by French designer Christophe André was a little less cute than the Game Boy port. But FCI, Fuji Sankey Communications International, really did wonders with this port of the game, as Bubble Ghost's sprite design is perhaps the game's most attractive asset. After all, the score is god-awful, and the level design will irritate the hell out of any sane person playing it. But perhaps it isn't the level design that is to blame, but rather the physics of the bubble itself. The player can hold A to blow a bubble around the course, and then using the direction sticks rotate around the bubble at 8 fixed points. However, in an attempt to make getting in the correct angle easier, the ghost often changes its position based on the bubble itself. Meaning if you're in the middle of pressing down A to blow the bubble and it goes above you, the ghost will turn to meet it. This kind of lock-on makes the game more fiddly than building Lego in a tumble dryer, and the slightest miscalculation in speed will often result in you blowing a bubble directly into a wall. It is for this reason I do not recommend playing the game on the GameCube's analog stick, because you are in for a whole world of pain if you do. The bubble also can't really be controlled with any degree of accuracy, as it tends to, much like a real life bubble, just float at its own volition. Blowing on it is never gentle, causing the bubble to fly at the walls, spikes and other hazards prematurely quite a bit at the press of the A button. However, it isn't only bubbles you blow in Bubble Ghost, but a variety of objects and creatures around the game's 35 stages. You can blow out candles, blow trumpets to charm snake, and also whisper sweet nothings in the ears of elephants. In order to get the problem solved, it's no wonder all the puzzles involve the same mechanic. I'll be incredibly honest, while I did complete the game on the SP, I didn't get to the end on this run because the ending is a bit of an anticlimax. Yep, you've guessed it. You get the bubble out of the castle, and the ghost floats into the cloud after it. The end. I've seen a video on YouTube of a guy knocking through this game in about 8 minutes flat, which, well, involves a lot of time and effort, I guess. Something I wasn't really wishing to put into this game. However, in today's world obsessed with first-person shooter games, Bubble Ghost shows how refreshing things can be to get back to basic puzzle solving. Though the game can be a bit of a bastard when it wants to, such as this course. Oh great, halfway, better just blow this bubble up. Dead. There is another example of this later levels too, but most of the frustration will lie with the ghost himself and his last minute turns. While Bubble Ghost does tend to haunt the more expensive end of the Game Boy library in terms of price, it fortunately can be found in a lot of the multi-carts available for the system, meaning you might already own a copy of this unique little gem. Be warned, Bubble Ghost will frustrate you, especially because you can only continue twice, but with a little perseverance you will realise its unique aspects outweigh its clunky controls. And that's it for this episode of Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, tell me in the comments below, like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can find me on Twitter at Gameboy, and I also co-host a podcast which is available every Sunday called Tom and Matt Attack. Check it out. It's on iTunes and Stitcher and can also be found at tomandmattattack.com and on our father site blastprocess.com. Until next time guys, game on.